people, especially Liam. We met in a whirlwind of conference buzz, free lanyards, and after panel drinks. He was charming in an unpolished way. More interested in asking questions than talking about himself. I liked that. It was refreshing after a string of cocky updates and emotionally unavailable flirts who used philosophy quotes like pickup lines. He lived in Portland. I lived in Chicago. At first, I thought nothing serious would come of it, but the connection didn't fade after the weekend. In fact, it sharpened. There were late-night calls that stretched until dawn. Joint playlists on Spotify, game nights, packages in the mail with stupid inside jokes. For almost 2 years, Liam was my constant. Across time zones, across Wi-Fi, across our differences. We planned trips, counted days until flights, talked about eventually closing the distance. At one point, he even sent me a framed sketch of the Chicago skyline with a note that said, "Soon, I'll see this with you." That was the Liam I knew. Or thought I did. 3 weeks ago, something shifted that it started small. Missed texts, slower replies. He stopped doing that thing where he sent me a good morning gif with a coffee emoji. It sounds silly, but it was routine, familiar, gone. He claimed he was slammed with work, said there was a new product rollout. That had him swamped. Fair enough. We both worked in tech. Busy streaks happened, but even in his busiest moments before, he'd shoot me a quick thinking of you or voice memo. This time, it was silence wrapped in thin excuses. I tried to brush it off, but there were moments, too many, that started sticking in my head like splinters. One was a message I got on Hinge. I hadn't used the app in forever, but I never actually deleted it. One night, lying in bed scrolling TikTok, I got a notification. A new like. The profile had no picture, just a cartoon dog avatar, but the message said, "Hey, you're cute." Looking for something serious? The weird part, the distance markers said they were only 2 miles away. That stuck with me. I remember staring at it. A prickling sense of unease rising in the back of my throat. I almost deleted the app right then. Instead, I laughed it off with my friend Tasha the next day, joking about phantom thirst traps and how I needed to do a digital spring cleaning. I should have paid attention. The next moment came the following week. I have a habit. Every Tuesday morning, I stop at this tiny cafe on the corner of Belmont and Halsted. It's nothing special, just quiet. Cheap coffee and a crooked little book swap shelf by the window that Tuesday. I was running late. I grabbed my chai, was halfway out the door, when I caught a glimpse of someone in the corner. It was fleeting. Just a hoodie, sunglasses, and a sharp jawline bending over a laptop. But it was so familiar. My heart skipped. I paused at the curb, squinting through the glass. But when I looked again, he was gone, or maybe he'd never been there. I shook it off as a hallucination brought on by stress and too little sleep. After all, Liam was in Portland, right? Then came Friday night. A coworker's birthday had turned into a semi-mandatory happy hour. We ended up at this rooftop bar downtown. The vibe was easy. The drinks flowing. I posted a boomerang on Instagram. Just for glasses clinking in front of the skyline, all in good fun. Nothing incriminating. I didn't even tag anyone. An hour later, I checked my DMs. There was a message from a private account I didn't recognize. No name, no posts, no followers, just a gray silhouette. The message read, "You looked like you were having fun tonight. Hope Liam doesn't mind." The blood drained from my face. I stared at it for minutes, rereading it, trying to make sense of it. I scanned the people around me, as if one of them might be watching. Paranoia bloomed like a bruise across my brain. My fingers were trembling as I locked my phone. I didn't respond. I didn't even tell anyone. Instead, I went home, sat on my couch, And for the first time in our relationship, I felt fear instead of love. The next day, I confronted Liam. Sort of. I didn't accuse, just mention the message, a vague weird thing that had happened, gauging his reaction, and he froze. That was the moment I knew. His eyes flicked off camera. He rubbed his face. Then he said, slowly, carefully, like peeling off a Band-Aid, "Okay, there's something I need to tell you." What followed was a confession I wasn't prepared for 3 weeks ago. Liam moved to Chicago, secretly. He rented a short-term Airbnb not far from me. He told no one. Not me, not his friends. He'd made the decision quietly, after our last visit, convinced that we were on the edge, his words. Convinced that he needed proof before taking. The next step, proof of what? He started trailing my routines, figuring out where I went after work, sitting in the cafe I loved, watching my stories, cross-referencing my posts with my locations. He made fake dating profiles, sent me messages, monitored when I was online. He said he saw me laugh at the bar Friday night and felt his stomach twist. He said the DM was his way of seeing how I'd react. I didn't speak. I couldn't. He said he was going to surprise me with a dinner next week, that he was planning something romantic. He said the whole thing had been a test. His tone was soft, like he was confessing something sweet and silly. Like he expected me to forgive him because his intentions were born of love. But all I could think about was how every moment of joy in the last 3 weeks, the walks, the coffee stops, the laughing at bars with coworkers, had been watched. Me, unaware. Him, evaluating, measuring. I hung up, my heart thudding in a way that didn't feel like heartbreak. It felt like violation. The text started coming in the next morning. "Please talk to me. I didn't mean to scare you. I just needed to know you were still mine. I love you." Each one made my skin crawl. I didn't respond. I didn't block him either. Not yet. I've been sitting with this for days, unsure what to feel. Part of me wants to scream at him. Part of me wants to curl up and pretend it didn't happen. And a tiny, terrifying part of me, the one shaped by 2 years of memories and softness, wants to believe he didn't mean harm, but intentions don't undo damage, and what he did was not love. It was control, surveillance, a test that I never consented to take. And worst of all, I don't know if he's still here. I keep glancing over my shoulder. Every time I see a man in a hoodie, every time my phone buzzes. I check my apartment locks 3 times a night now. I wake up wondering if he's parked across the street. And I wonder, how long would he have watched me if I hadn't caught on? How long was he willing to play pretend, to play God with our relationship, before he decided I was loyal enough? And what if I had failed his test? What would he have done then? I don't have answers, just a long silence where love used to be, and a voice in my head that won't stop whispering, "You were being watched, and you didn't even know." Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.